All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Andrew McClennan, and today we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. I have my two guests on Exposed channel. I have Ryan Durda. Now, he's the owner of a crypto hedge fund. We have actually met years back, and all we do is talk about money, monetary history. So I would love for him to be on this panel to talk about crypto. And also, I have Jeff Fisher. We also met in a previous business adventure. And from there, we talked about money and investments. And I thought he'd be perfect to talk about crypto since he has a very big portfolio on crypto. So I got a couple topics I want to cover, guys. And the first topic is about Bitcoin. So what are your thoughts about Bitcoin, Ryan and Fisher?
I'll take the lead since you brought me up first. Just if you don't mind, I'll delve a little bit more into my history so people know where my viewpoint comes from, and then we'll go to topic. I've got 18 years in finance. Started out in Wall Street, Series 7 licensed stockbroker. Over time, added more licenses and letters after my name to my portfolio. Currently also a licensed securities broker. I make a living currently as the vice president of a precious metals broker dealer. And along the run, I guess about 7 or 8 years ago, with the former VP of Bank of America, opened up a crypto asset hedge fund, and our business model in the crypto space was a first of its kind. We actually had the first ever passive return crypto fund, which now is called DeFi, which when we started out, DeFi wasn't really a thing. So our business model went from first of its kind to, an industry standard within a short 5-year period. And we had to change up things real quick as, anybody who's involved in crypto knows that, 5 years is like talking to dinosaurs in the crypto space. It moves so fast. Yes. Bitcoin. I am a huge advocate of Bitcoin. I've been an advocate of Bitcoin since I learned about Bitcoin all the way back in 2009 when it first came on topic. My former brother-in-law was a very successful Wall Street day trader and was the very first person to ever say the word Bitcoin to me all the way back then. Kept it on my radar. My viewpoint on it was I'm not going to really delve into it personally or for my clients until it became, in my exact quote unquote words, until it's a thing. I'm not going to touch it until it's a thing. And people would ask me, well, how do you know if it's a thing or not? And I said, it's simple. When it's talked about and utilized in everyday life, it has become a thing. For me, Bitcoin became a thing in 2015. That's when I first started to put my toe into the water and opened up our hedge fund during the crypto winter of 2018. We opened up the fund of March of 2018 when Bitcoin was on its way down from $20,000. We opened up the fund at 10. And when it got down to 3,300, trying to get people to give me money was like pulling teeth. When it got back to $10,000, all those people that told me no at 3,300 were telling me, hey, are you still doing that Bitcoin thing? Can I get involved now? And, the rest is history. But, I look at it through the lens of, listen, Bitcoin's money. It meets the definition of money, not currency. And every single crypto asset that exists on the planet is a trading pair with Bitcoin. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not going anywhere.
Man, big facts on that. So Jeff, you would like to introduce yourself more to the audience?
Yeah. So I'm Jeff. I've been trading since 2021, kind of like like the last cycle is when I jumped into crypto, but yes, I just kind of got my foot in the door. One of my friends, she introduced me to meme coins, and I started trading SHIB. That's where I kind of got my first, dabble into trading crypto. But before that, I was like stocks and stuff. But yeah, like for me, I'm more kind of like the degen. I like to to find those early coins. And obviously, it's more high risk, high reward. Most of them go to zero, but yeah, just trying to find some gems in the marketplace. And since I've been able to make some good connections with other whales that are big holders of some larger projects. And yeah, we just kind of share alpha amongst each other and just try to find ways to find more gems and stuff. But yeah, I've just been I created a channel. It's kind of like a free channel that I created over the past year, a year and a half, where I just call plays and stuff. But yeah, it's just I'm excited for the future. Definitely you're seeing more and more politicians talking about Bitcoin. And you're seeing now we have the the ETFs being traded with
Yeah.
Ethereum, Bitcoin, going into, now we got the the presidential, we got Trump, he's talking about it more. I feel like it's going to be a big thing. We're going to see more money, liquidity coming into the crypto markets here in the near future. But yeah, I'm excited to always be able to network and add value where I can. So
So when it comes to you guys' portfolio, like what do you guys prefer? Some of the bigger cryptos, some of the smaller cryptos. Like how do you mix up your entry into crypto?
uh,
Like for me, guys, I prefer predominantly into Bitcoin and then like 20% into altcoins like Hedera, some some Shiba Inu, but the rest of it's like small altcoins. But the predominant is in Bitcoin. You guys have your similar setups like that?
I'm a little bit different, for sure. Like I rather like I mean, like I said, there's no wrong way. Everybody's got their own setup, but like I look at like all the memes on like some of the top blockchains like you got now. It's like Pepe, like that shares like a larger market cap, market cap on the ETH side. I think it's sitting at like a little bit under 3 billion right now. And then you got some of the L2s like the base chain, with Brett. So this is different. Some of the larger meme coins that are on the on the larger chains now. And then I have Ethereum as well. Some of the Ethereum for some of the meme coins that I trade. But my goal honestly is really to eventually move out of like a lot of the meme coin plays and start buying more of the stable, more of the like the Bitcoin, bigger positions in the ETH coin, Bitcoin, and then definitely like Solana is one of my favorite ones as well too. But yeah, just kind of have put it more and more safer asset classes with time. If that makes sense.
Like kind of like a dollar cost average in.
Yeah, exactly. Because the meme coins are, they are more of a like a higher risk, asset class. They're definitely more volatile. Whereas you got Bitcoin, you'll see 1% swings, 2% swings in a given day. It just depends. But yeah, I mean that's just kind of my thing, honestly.
What about yourself, Ryan? Like, what do you prefer your portfolio?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit on the same page as Jeff. I look at it through the lens of, again, because I come from asset management. Like it's 18 years of asset management, right? So you got to balance out a portfolio between risk and safety, right? So, and be it that I've been a precious metals broker dealer for almost a decade. I compare crypto assets to gold and silver, right? My saying about gold is you don't buy gold to get rich, you buy gold to stay rich.
Yeah.
Silver is your moneymaker, right? So even though gold and silver move relatively in tandem, gold leads, silver lags, but silver historically 100% of the time outperforms gold, right? 100% track record of repeating this pattern. I can get into why, but not the topic of the conversation, right? However, just like silver outperforms gold on the way up, it outperforms gold on the way down. Right?
Yeah.
If we take that same concept and we apply it to crypto assets, and we look at altcoins versus Bitcoins, Bitcoin leads. What is it doing right now? It's leading the charge. But ultimately what happens is that money, that value that's created in Bitcoin then gets carried over into the altcoin space. And what happens with the altcoins, because the market cap is smaller, they outperform, right? But they outperform on the way up, they outperform on the way down. So my strategy with the crypto space is no different than gold and silver. I use the altcoins as my quote unquote money makers, and I use Bitcoin as my exit strategy.
I like that plan.
In terms
Yeah,
of,
pretty spot on. I love that.
Yeah, like I like infrastructure projects, right? Like you brought up Solana, for example. You know, anything that's an infrastructure project, it's adding actual infrastructure and value to the development of the blockchain space. I'm all for it because, again, from a risk standpoint, you know, I don't believe that they're high risk and or that if it's an established project that they're going away, right? Like the meme coins, for example, don't get me wrong. I day trade on occasion meme coins. Like if I see Shiba running, I'm going to jump on it.
Yeah.
But Shiba doesn't really have an infrastructure play. You know what I mean? So that's where, but at the same time, like I'm not looking at being a Shiba holder for the long term. I'm going to catch the run, take my win, buy Bitcoin with it, and sit.
Yeah.
That's my strategy.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it as well, too, for sure.
And with some of these altcoins, I know that we're pretty much in a bear market with all these altcoins. Are you guys getting any staking rewards with them or mining them at all?
I'll start on that one. So that was the business model of the hedge fund when we started it, right? So when I say that we started the first ever passive return hedge fund in the crypto space, it was during the masternode run, right? So we raised millions of dollars to build masternodes, portfolio masternodes, collected the fees off the nodes, turned around, sold those fees, bought Bitcoin, paid everybody off in Bitcoin, and it was a good run. One of the lessons learned in that experience was there was always sell pressure, right? Because whereas many people were doing that at a small scale for the same reason, we were just doing it at a much higher level. And what we learned in that experience is because there was constant sell pressure, it never allowed the value of those assets to ever really take off, right? Because as those rewards were being created, everyone else was doing the same thing we were doing, and that was they would reach a certain price and they'd sell the asset to get the return, right? And ultimately what happens, it goes from $1 to $3 back to 50 cents, right? So, and that's why the whole masternode space imploded, and that's why our fund only lasted for 5 years. And during that time is when DeFi started to come to life. And ultimately, at the end of the day, what is the DeFi business model but a passive return model, right? Just based on providing liquidity, based on collecting fees, and so on and so on and so forth. So a long-winded answer to your question is yes, I absolutely stake. I absolutely provide liquidity. I absolutely use the passive model to gain value in my crypto portfolio.
What's it called? Because I'm looking at some of the rewards. Like I personally stake on Coinbase. I think it's one of the biggest exchanges that most Americans get on. I know a lot of the other people that I follow use other international brokers, but it's a really good source of income, especially that we're earning, on some of the altcoins. And since this bear market is getting worse, and I hope it gets worse, I hope it just keeps on dipping so I can keep on dollar or cryptocurrency averaging in to make this I hope like Bitcoin hits 100,000. So these staking rewards compound with the capital gains all at once.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Fisher?
Yeah, man, I was really heavy on like nodes. Like I was like, I was like the node. Man, I was buying so many nodes because like at one point I was making really crazy passive income. But uh, like what was your name, sir? Again, what was
Ryan.
your name? Yeah, like
Ryan,
Ryan was saying,
we
yeah, it was
listen.
just with
We've
time,
met.
like the sale
We crossed
pressure
paths
was.
in the past.
What was that?
I said we've met. We crossed paths in the past. We were in the same ventures
Yeah,
in the
you look.
past.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, that's right. My bad. My bad. Yeah, it's been a
Don't worry
while,
about it.
man. It was a crazy ride for us all for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but but yeah, but yeah, I was buying nodes but yeah, it was really the constant sell pressure that really like kicked me out of the game. But um I really liked the fact that like I was in this one project where it was kind of like it was a crypto hedge fund, and what they were doing was they would allow their users to stake. And when you stake, what they would do is they would go out and they would reinvest in other projects, and as the gains would come in, they would distribute those gains as a form of reward. And so I like the business model. I think what happened was is that when the markets tanked, a lot of the liquidity dried up in the markets, and so a lot of those projects kind of like they just kind of faded, with time. But I have a feeling at some point in the future, like once money starts coming back into the market, you'll start seeing more of those opportunities coming back. But I like staking, especially if I can get some good yield on it. I'm involved with one project now that has that same type of model, but they're doing it more so on the level of uh, it's kind of like not really like it's like using NFTs to be able to be able to like with a lot of Coles, right? Like whenever they're like with influencers, like if they ever like want to like be able to exchange, to get to sell their tokens on the market or whatever, it allows them to be able to kind of like have like a escrow type of platform to where they can like trade the NFT, but still hold the tokens without dumping their coins on the market. And so it's kind of like decentralizing the liquidity of these tokens, and so it allows you to be able to generate yield that way. So but yeah, I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to come back, as more money comes back into the markets.
As a, I would say for me, I don't want to get too politicized, but as we start getting into the election, I think crypto is going to be one of those things that are naturally going to be brought up in the conversation, and that's going to give it even more light, bringing this making this bull market happen a lot faster. But
Yeah, get Gary Gensler out of the way, and that was that's been the biggest hindrance in the United States, and what's her face, Pocahontas. Get them out of the way, and you're going to see crypto start to flourish in the U.S. I mean, the regulators in the United States have been the biggest hindrance in crypto's growth in the U.S.
Oh, it's going to come for sure. Like the regulations, I feel like, especially if we're talking about like really mass adoption and, with all these politicians and they start becoming more favorable towards crypto. I feel like they're definitely going to want to like find a way to put their hands in the pot, to get,
So in order for them to
we got a question by one of the got a question out there. What do you guys think of Caspa?
I don't know. Project I'm familiar with.
I'm not really familiar. I got one of my friends that's she actually got me into crypto. She's really big on Casper. Like she drops it in her group from time to time. There's just so many coins I see all the time. I just hadn't taken the time to research it, but so I can't really give you a lot of info on that one personally.
But just some news in there before we move on to the crypto. The money history part. As of right now, there's over 2.4 million cryptos. When I started making YouTube videos, there were literally, I had this on document, there's under 2,000 cryptos. Yeah. Now we're at 2.4.
Yeah.
Now, since we're transitioning to the money history, what do you guys think about how cryptocurrency is used today and how it can be? Is this a new type of money? Is it legit? So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'm going to be long-winded in my response. So, Jeff, if you want to go first, be my guest.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I think the fact that we got banks, that closes, banks are closed on the weekends. There's a set amount of time that you can get your money. I like the fact that you can get your money with crypto. You can literally get your money within minutes. You don't have to wait for a second, third party. You know what I mean?
Especially with the regulation happening now. When I try to send a Zelle, you guys use Zelly or Zelle, whatever it's called, and they limit to how much you can send. It's your money, and you can't send it to somebody because it's too much or too little. That's what I love.
I don't have to deal with banks or institutions or anybody. It's just direct to that person, and that's what I like. And if I like the fact that I got my options. If I don't want to deal with one type of currency, I can go over to another chain, and it's just fast and quick. and the fees, the fees are, depending on what chain you might be on, like Solana, like you're talking about fractions of pennies, just to send large amounts of money. So I love it. So,
what are your thoughts on it, Ryan?
All right, so here's where I'm going to get a little long-winded because I want to paint a really big picture to bring value to the audience, to where I believe if everyone can see through the lens that I'm looking through, they'll see how vast crypto is ultimately going to become. All right, so here we're going to delve into a little bit of monetary history. Our current monetary system is electronic. Right? So here's what I mean by it's electronic. When Andre walks into the bank and he deposits $1,000, whether it's a check or cash, there is not a vault with Andre McClendon's name on it at the bank. The bank enters Andre's deposit into their computer, which is a ledger. That $1,000 is then lent out, and that cycle is repeated over and over again. The bank loans it out, charges interest on those dollars, and that's our current fractional monetary system. But the point that I want to highlight is the fact that the current monetary system is an electronic system where the banks are the ledger. The dollars are a unit of account and or a medium of exchange, and the bank is a ledger. Now, with the advent of blockchain, Bitcoin is the use case of or proof case of the blockchain, right? And the blockchain has taken the current monetary system, which is based on the SWIFT system, which if you've ever sent an international wire, you've had to put in a SWIFT code, and that is the electronic system that our monetary system has been based on going all the way back to the 60s, okay? We've now gone digital, in which Bitcoin and the blockchain are both a unit of account and a ledger, all within the same system. Thereby, the banks become irrelevant, and that system is decentralized. Anyone who has a Bitcoin wallet has a copy of the entire ledger on whatever device they carry their wallet. That threat to the central banking system, since 2009, they've tried to break it, they've tried to hack it, they've tried to manipulate it, they've tried to do all the things. The only thing that they've been successful in doing, just like they are with Wall Street and everything else, is they've been able to manipulate the market moves so as to take from the rich take from the poor and give to the rich through market manipulation practices, but they haven't been able to break it or hack it. And in turn, what did they do? They adopted it. What do I mean by they adopted it? if you're familiar with the BRICS nations and the payment rail systems that have been established through the Shanghai organization and the world, the New World Bank that they set up. They've set up payment rail systems, which are a blockchain-based payment rail system that doesn't function within the SWIFT system, which in October, when the BRICS summit is complete and they come out, it's rumored that they will announce their new global trade currency to usurp the dollar as the world reserve trade settlement currency. But the whole system is built on the blockchain, and it will be backed by gold settlement. Why do I say all that? Because the whole world financial system is moving off of this electronic, old, antiquated system, which makes the banks irrelevant, or at least the commercial banks that we're used to using all day, every day, your TD Bank, your PNC Bank, your local Bank of America commercial branch, whatever it is, and they're consolidating. Look at all the bank failures that we're watching happen, right? These are all commercial banks that are on the brink of failure. The FDIC has 63 banks that are currently on their watch list for insolvency. And what are they doing? They're consolidating, right? Look at what happened in the 2008 market crash. The large institutional banks consolidated, right? JP Morgan took over Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, just as an example, right? And that's happening at a larger scale because the end goal is for the central banks who are no longer relevant, because what has Bitcoin done? It has decentralized money and global trade and monetary transaction. It's decentralized finance, but those who have controlled the machine for so long want to remain relevant. Thereby, they're going to come out with a central bank digital currency. Right? The Bank of International Settlements, which is considered the central bank to all central banks, has a 98% participation rate of central bank digital currencies. That means all the banks are going to a central bank digital currency. Ooh. When that occurs, you're going to watch Bitcoin explode. And here's why I say that. To Jeff's point earlier, what has been the biggest issue in the rise in value of Bitcoin and the altcoins? One thing. Tell me what it is.
Those transfer gas fees, right?
Liquidity. Liquidity. You've got to get the liquidity from this system into that system. The moment the traditional banking system goes on the blockchain via a central bank digital currency, in conjunction with those chains that are bridge channels, right? There's now blockchains in which you can bridge from one blockchain to another. The moment that central bank digital currency goes live on any kind of mass scale, the value that's sitting on the traditional banking system will go right over to here. And you will watch the value of Bitcoin and all the other assets skyrocket.
And that'll be, I mean, even when we get to that point, like, what are you guys' thoughts when it comes to when actually we answer that stuff over there? Give me 1 second, guys.
No problem.
I got 2 questions on here that just popped up, but so far we actually got on that. So with the government coming out with these cryptocurrencies, like, what is the danger involved into that? Like, we saw the pros, how we can transfer money over very easily, but what are some dangers that can be involved with the government getting into crypto?
Oh, I mean, it's the moment that happens, we're under full tyrannical control of the government. It's 100% without a doubt. You now have a bank. You now have an account directly with the Fed system, right? So now they monitor. So they are now the central point. Because again, keep in mind, what is it? It's centralized, right? They're trying to centralize a decentralized system for the mere fact that they remain relevant. because the whole blockchain, like Bitcoin, the whole point of Bitcoin was to usurp the central bank system and the government's interference in transaction, right? It's a peer-to-peer monetary system that is immutable, right? So because that system threatened their model to such a degree, they had no choice but to adopt it, or in essence get put out of business. So they had to adopt it, so they remain relevant. So now it remains centralized. So now that means that if the government and or the central bank, which as you and I both know, there's nothing federal about it and they have no reserves. It's not government, it's a corporation or cartel, as I like to call it. But now they have complete and absolute control and transparency over your entire financial life, right? So, are there pros to that? Of course, there's pros to it in the sense that, you don't have to worry about filing taxes anymore. They just take it all out automatically and, whatever. I get it. I'm trying to point out the pros, but,
Yeah.
At the same time, like in my opinion, there's more cons than pros because now you have the government in every aspect of your private life. And that thereby is the definition of tyranny.
Yeah, I think I understand the why they want to stay relevant, because once they lose their relevancy, they lose their power, and the government does not like to lose power. Once they control something, they like to keep that control as long as possible. And this is why when it comes to honest money, like when you brought up the Federal Reserve and how they have no reserves, also. That's why, do you think crypto and gold should be involved too? So people should have crypto and precious metals to finance in, or actually make transactions in also?
Yeah, that's a great question. I believe myself to be a purist in the sense that, gold and silver are God's money. Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution states that gold and silver are the only constitutional money in which to utilize in the United States, in which debts to be paid, and so on and so forth. Gold and silver have been around for 5,000 plus years of recorded history and have been the foundation of every single financial system through all of recorded history, except for the last 53-year experiment of the U.S. fiat dollar system. I believe in gold and silver as a base to the monetary system. But at the same time, I'm a proponent and advocate for Bitcoin as well, because we are in a modern day, right? So with that, we have technologies that didn't exist prior. So if gold and Bitcoin both adhere to the definition of what is money, and they both adhere to that definition, then by definition, they're both money, right? So if we go all the way back to 1912, JP Morgan said gold and silver are money, everything else is credit, right? Because everything else has counterparty risk. Gold and silver have no counterparty risk, right? Bitcoin, by definition, doesn't have counterparty risk. And if we look at what are the definitions of what's currency versus money, I like to use Mike Maloney's answer to that, right? They're a medium of exchange. They're a unit of account. And then I tell people, just remember the acronym PDF like a PDF file. It's portable, it's durable, it's divisible, it's fungible. However, money is a store of value over time. Currency is not a store of value over time. So if we look at gold and silver, gold and Bitcoin, is it a unit of account? Yes. Is it a medium of exchange? Yes. Is it portable? Yes. Is it durable? Yes. Is it divisible? Yes. Is it fungible? Yes. Is it a store of value over time? Just look at the charts. I saw you bring up a chart, right?
Yeah, I'm about to bring that up right now.
Yeah, but are there pros and cons to each? Sure, right? So just like in terms of portability, right? Is Bitcoin more portable than gold? Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Is Bitcoin more durable than gold? I don't believe so. I think gold's more durable than Bitcoin, because if there's an EMP, well, that's going to impact the durability of the Bitcoin network, it has no impact whatsoever on gold, right? Is it divisible? Bitcoin clearly wins the divisibility, right? Fungible. They're both fungible, right? Only difference is fungible is Bitcoin is fungible to a more minute degree because there's decimal points, right? Store value over time. The answer to both is yes. But one of the things that I've had to say to my clients over the years is gold and silver, 5,000 year track record. Bitcoin, where are we at? Year 14, year track record, right? So in that regard, I have to go with the thing that has the longer track record in terms of which one's the greater store value over time. Well, the one that has the longest track record.
And for the audience who is not understanding this, let me show you guys a very simple image, and I'll get to some technicals. So this is a simple image of, if you go back, I'm 35 years old. When I was a kid, my first job, I got paid $5.15 an hour. I used to fill up a shopping cart pretty easily. And today, very little with $20, right? But to show you guys what that means off of something like this, since 1913, guys, since the Federal Reserve was enacted, the dollar basically purchased less and less over time. Just how it is, it sucks. But what I like to bring up, when you talked about cryptocurrency, especially it being very fairly new, the purchasing power of Bitcoin versus the dollar over not even the same time period has gone up tremendously for Bitcoin, and the dollar has still been going down. So that's why when you talk about owning something that has a long track history, it's only been around for 14 years, and it's still outperforming the dollar in a sense in purchasing power. I didn't bring up the one for gold, but to show the audience that it's important to understand the definition of money and to get out of fiat. Like, you have to use and interact with fiat, dollar bills to buy at the grocery store, but don't put your whole portfolio into something that's declining rapidly.
That's an important thing to bring up as well. The one thing that I think that anyone in the audience should understand is, I'm deliberate in my verbiage when I talk to my clients and I talk about money versus currency, right? Because your dollar is not money, it's currency, right? But the other thing that I'm mindful of bringing to people's awareness is when they talk about gold and silver as an investment. And I try to change their mindset into saying, well, I wouldn't necessarily label it as an investment, rather than you're exchanging a declining liability for an asset that at least maintains purchasing power relative to that declining liability that you own, because your dollar isn't an asset, it's a liability. What is a dollar but an IOU, right? So thereby it's a liability, right? And I look at Bitcoin in the same regard. You're exiting a liability to own an asset, right? A Bitcoin is not an IOU. There's no counterparty risk that exists there. But if you want to then look at things in terms of an investment, well, if you own dollars, you're investing in dollars.
And actually, Jeff just popped in. We need your thoughts real quick. So do you invest in the precious metals at all, or just mainly cryptocurrency? Does he got me loud? I'll wait till his audio gets fixed, and we'll see what's up. But yeah, I would say if you guys are making a portfolio, I would say, I don't know what you guys' approach in that. Like, are you heavier on precious metals and crypto, or you guys are like a balance on that?
Well, again, until Jeff comes back, we won't sit here in radio silence. There you go. For me personally, my portfolio is heavier weighted in metal. Again, just on the mere fact that I look at it from track record, right? Track record and risk. Now, I will tell you this. My entire portfolio currently is gold, silver, Bitcoin, altcoins, and dollars. I don't own a single stock. I liquidated all my real estate a while ago. I think that we're going to weather a storm worse than the '08 global financial crisis. And I want to sit with liquidity and dry powder and wait to go shopping at a deep, deep discount, because I believe that deep, deep discount is coming.
I like that you brought the big discount.
At that point, I'm going to call Jeff and buy land, because I know that was his gig for a while if he's still doing it.
Jeff, if you can hear us, just chime in anytime. I got you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I had to. My service is back. Sorry.
So we just talked about what are your thoughts about precious metals and crypto? Like, do you get into both, or do you prefer crypto and land?
Yeah, I'm not in crypto metals, unfortunately.
I mean, just metals. Like, are you in precious metals at all, like gold and silver?
Oh, I'm not. I'm not. Yeah.
I see, but yeah, because we talked about like the purchasing power. The dollar being a dying asset, and basically you have to get into other assets to maintain your purchasing power or actually increase your portfolio value or wealth. But to get into the other thing about like we got that crypto history. Also, what do you guys' top cryptos out there? Like your favorite cryptos, main cryptos, and some of your meme favorites. Let's see. Jeff, you there?
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm in meme coins. So it's like a lot of the ones, like I said, it's very high risk. Like even like my family members that are like always asking me about meme coins and stuff. I usually just tell them, if you're new to crypto, like I just tell them to get Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana. But I don't know, like if you're like really like, if somebody has a couple dollars and they're like willing to put it in the casino, like, like meme coins that I'm in, that's like really like low cap. There's a coin that's called Socks.
Socks.
Right now, I don't know if y'all know Iggy Azalea, but she has this token called Mother, and I think Mother's sitting at like 36 million market cap. But a lot of people were giving hate to like when she first launched her coin because of the whole like celebrities, getting into coins, and a lot of them were like pump and dumps. But Iggy's coin Mother, it's been around
this one right here on the screen.
What was that?
I just found it. This one right here.
Yeah. It's on Solana. And so it went all the way up to, I think it went to like 200 million. It went to some crazy market cap, but then it went down to 30 million. I think that's going to definitely be a lot more safer bet than the one I'm in is called Socks. Socks is a community coin. It's not, it was a coin that was a CTO where the community took it over. And for me personally, I've been in this coin ever since it's launched, the Socks coin. Socks is Iggy Azalea's dog. And a lot of times, for me personally, like I like to front run the narratives. I really see the potential of this Mother coin. I don't hold Mother, by the way. I should. I think it's going to be a really solid, coin this cycle, because I'm been watching all the work that she's doing. She's actually going over to seas to. There's a big Solana conference that's happening. I want to say it's. Is it China? It's overseas. It's a huge conference, and so there'll be like all the top Solana devs. It's a big crypto event, but yeah. So like with all the attention that the hard work that she's putting into her Mother coin, I really feel like a lot of the as her coin continues to be successful, I feel like a lot of the influencers and a lot of the coals will want to jump onto this Socks coin, just because it's been a coin that's really the community starting to form. They're actively rating on Twitter all the time. They're always doing community giveaways. They're actually it's very rare that you see these coins actually paying community members to shill. Shill just means the rate. They'll tweet it. They'll do great competitions on Twitter to get more exposure onto their project. But yeah, it's I think Socks is sitting at a 300K market cap.
This right here.
Yeah, it's just one of those. This is one of those meme plays that I got a couple bucks in. I'm definitely a top holder for sure, but it's just one of those coins that I definitely it's one of my high risk, high reward plays that I could see
Holy
doing pretty good
crap.
this cycle.
You're talking about
Wait, now this coin here, you
0.40653.
got to make sure it's the right socks.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, fully. Yeah, that's the one. Yep, that's it. That's correct. Yeah.
Holy crap. This is why I love these type of charts, because like the
Yeah,
amount
it's
of
like I said, it's a really high risk, type of play, but it's one I think this coin here went to like 3 million market cap. And then it took a hit. Like a lot of the coins, a lot of the meme coins, took a hit, and they went down. I think stocks, what happened was it went all the way down to like 50K market cap, and then a new CTO formed where community members got together, they bought up a large amount of the supply, and they just been really pushing it heavy. That's a coin that I like. Another coin that I like that's small cap is a token called Link. It's LINQ. It's on the Ethereum blockchain.
okay.
The reason why I like this project is because they built a new platform that allows projects to be able to decentralize their liquidity, where that the community members can actually hold the LP. The LP is like the kind of like the backbone to the project. A lot of times when crypto projects start, a lot of times with this LP, a lot of times you'll see crypto projects rug because the dev he sells all the tokens, like he pulls the rug. And so just with Link, they created a platform that allows the community to be able to have the staking system to where they can actually own the LP, so it's decentralized, within the community members. So they hold, the LP and stuff. And so they're allowing projects to be able to do that, with their own communities and stuff. And so, Link, it's sitting at about, I think it's like a 2 million, 3 million market cap.
Yeah.
All-time highs for 40 million. This is one of my plays that I've been able to like stake and earn. I've been able to earn. Not only have I been able to earn ETH rewards, but I also been able to earn the LP as well. Just from the tokenomics.
Nice.
So
I see. So and the next run, if this even goes back to previous highs, you're talking about a multi-bagger. Like it's gonna.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a lot of the plays that I'm in are really like they're smaller market cap, size. My goal at the end of the cycle is, obviously it's nobody can really time the top, but as as it gets to a certain number that I feel is comfortable, and I start to de-risk, the ultimate goal is really to put it more into stables. That's my goal, because I at the end of the day, like my ultimate goal is I want to own like a lot of Bitcoin. That's the ultimate goal for me, is to own a lot of Bitcoin, and eventually I won't have to have a lot of I wouldn't have to be into a lot of these high risk type of plays, with these meme coins.
I'll say I'm less into meme coins, but Bitcoin's one of my favorites. Is this because
yeah. Bitcoin's the leader for sure. Anytime Bitcoin. What was that?
Go ahead. Yeah, as long as it stays volatile, keeps moving 2 to 3%, it's like the best trading asset. I love trading Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, man. There's people that are talking like Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know, like you're talking 20, 30 years, Bitcoin could be, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars per Bitcoin. I mean, obviously it's all speculative, but you're starting to see these big hedge fund guys, these big like traders, like they're really like starting to like talk big on Bitcoin's, potential asset value in the future, which is pretty crazy.
Actually, I do have a question since it came up. What are you guys' thoughts about all these big ETFs and option ETFs that are opening up on Bitcoin? Are you guys involved with that, or? Are you guys in that stuff at all?
Me personally, not yet. You know, I do like stock options, so I haven't yet gotten into the crypto side of it though. But personally,
Because we
I'd
have
definitely
companies
be
like
interested.
we have like Yield Max. You guys heard about Yield Max at all?
I don't know Yield Max.
Oh, basically, it's like they pay out dividends instead of you buying the stock. They pay out dividends for the options of owning crypto. Kind of like that, but it's like, to me, it seems like there's so many companies jumping into Bitcoin at the top, which not the top at the current price now, pushing it up higher. You know, that's what I love when I hear about new companies jumping into Bitcoin. I'm like, just keep it going, man.
Yeah, I mean the more players you get involved, it's going to bring more liquidity. But at the same time, like I'll give you an example. Like, do you know why Bitcoin went from $20,000 down to $33,000 after 2017?
Oh no! What are your thoughts on that?
3,300.
Let
So December of 2017, Bitcoin was worth $20,000. In January of 2018, the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, opened up the first futures contract for Bitcoin. And that futures contract gave them the ability to short Bitcoin, but they didn't settle the contract in Bitcoin. They settled it in dollars. So what did that give them the ability to do but to short the asset? And they shorted the asset. And this is why I said earlier about Wall Street manipulation. Once Wall Street got involved, once it was big enough, the general public drove it to 20 grand, got Wall Street's attention. Wall Street created a derivative, which allowed them to do what? Go and steal all the wealth from the little people, put it in their hands. Because remember when I told you that at $3,300, getting people to give me money to buy Bitcoin was like pulling teeth? Do you know who the net buyers of Bitcoin were in 2018 or 2019 when it was $3,300? Wall Street institutions, hedge funds were the net buyers of Bitcoin at that price. So although the more players that come to the game brings more liquidity, it also brings in more price volatility and gives them the ability to create derivative products to steal wealth from the poor to give to the rich.
Yeah, those derivatives, especially how high leverage they are. Like even with my broker, and they have the simulated, entries on Bitcoin. They're like 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
So like we're talking about like massive amount of leverage being put into Bitcoin or simulated Bitcoin. If that's a best way to put it as, because derivatives are not real; they're just made up. But it's, to me, with even them doing that, and they're going to add more derivatives, especially in the options market. This will add even more volatility to Bitcoin, which to me is a good thing. The more volatility, the better.
Oh, I don't disagree from the standpoint of trading and making money. Because again, keep in mind, I got a commodities broker license. What does that mean? That means I can buy and sell, trade Bitcoin options, right? So I agree. I love the volatility from the aspect of from trading, right? Yeah. But in terms of investing, you got to understand what you're stepping into. As these players come to the table.
Especially and that's why I hope if Bitcoin can give me that one pull down that goes back down to 40,000 or even sweet 30,000s, woo, massive amount of buying. But let's go into the big spenders. Actually, but guys, if anything else you guys want to cover in this conversation, Jeff, anything for yourself, sir? No, that's a question.
Andre, I think I saw a question pop up while we were chatting. I don't know if you want to.
What Bitcoin funds do you use when trading? For me, I use MetaTrader 4 and 5, and with those, I use not Sway Markets, IC Markets, and and Coinbase. Yeah, I use IC Markets. You can't open it up if you're American, but if you're international and you have multiple IDs, you can open it up. You just can't do it as an American.
I'm an American, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one.
If you want to trade it with lots of leverage, I think the most leverage is I think 200 to 1. So you can. How would I say this? It's very risky, but if you're an automated trader like I am, and you know what you're doing, it's not a bad play. But if you're going to do it, please understand it's highly risky. You might blow up your account. Happens quite a bit in my space.
No, it will blow up your account if you don't know how to do proper risk management. All it's what it is.
Yeah. It's pretty much like when my clients come through and they talk to me about like I want to day trade Bitcoin. I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea. You might want to just not do it with leverage and margin. Just do it with cash positions so you don't get stopped out. Or you don't want to be in that position where Bitcoin jumps your stop and now you owe money. But those are the risks I tell people. Like it's not for everybody in that area. Actually, let me remove this real quick. KYC, yeah, they do KYC. You have to they check your ID, check your passport. You need to have multiple IDs to basically have that as your system. So if you are an American ID, they're going to find out, and you're not going to allow you to be in there. But there's other companies that allow you to, but you're not going to get the leverage of overseas brokers. You might get like 20 to 1, but the 100 to 200 realm is kind of out of the range for Americans. But yeah, if any of you guys have any other questions or comments, let me know. Jeff and Ryan, do you have anything else you want to cover?
Oh, no, at all, man. Thanks for having me on. Sorry, I was kind of on the run, so it was kind of hard to talk, but and the service was going out. But no, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for also being on here. I did want to change it up from my normal routine to talking about exposing traders and scammers out there and talking about something that's fun and something about history, because I love economic history. I love to talk about money. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys in the next live stream in 24 minutes to 30 minutes. And thank you guys for coming on. I hope I see you guys again.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate it, my friend.
Peace. And one question before you go, Ryan.
What's that?
Live stream.